For over a decade, the SML has been the top connected franchise that Madden has to offer. As the Madden 26 cycle comes to a close, all 32 SML members have cast a ballot on their top 10 players of the cycle. So without further ado, here's that list.
Tug. No one thought at the beginning of the season he'd be here in the cycle top 10. I know you didn't, because everyone voted for me to win in our first playoff matchup. 100% me, 0% him. And he won. That spelled the rest of the cycle for Tug. 93 wins on the cycle, 5 playoff wins, and an absolute monster of a run game with homegrown talent Aaron Compton, who struck fear in the hearts of many. And Tug also had no fear. Many were afraid to run man coverage on defense. Not Tug. He'd line up in man-to-man and have success. Patrick Surtain being a huge weapon and reason for that. Overall, great cycle from a main man Tug, and he has earned his spot in the SML top 10 players of the cycle.
Kicking off our top 10 list is Tug, who had 93 regular season wins and 5 playoff wins. Tug's future in the SML is bright.
Nothing describes QP better than being the ultimate competitor. No matter the game and situation, he is going to give it his all each and every play. And even though it didn't always go his way, more often than not, he's going to get that victory. And despite the many false allegations against him, he continued holding his head up high, playing his way with his formidable offense. And even though he may forget how to count occasionally, he was always led by his elite defense and his great user skills, posting several top 5 defensive seasons, leading him to 6 playoff appearances over the cycle. Being my bitter rival, I hated playing him, but I always loved beating him, and he absolutely earned his place in this cycle's top 10 players.
And coming in at number 9 is QP, a multi-time Simbardi winner with 84 wins on the cycle, a balanced offensive approach with solid defense, lands QP as a top 10 player.
Next up on the SML top 10 players of the cycle, we have Stavo. Stavo returns to his list after having another dominant season. He amassed over 100 wins for the cycle and made numerous runs in the playoffs. Stavo was led by his dynamic offense that could score at will against any opponent. He had the best running back combo in the league with Bijan Robinson and Bernie Booth. On the defensive side of the ball, Stavo is one of the best users in the league. He's all over the field, and every time you drop back, you have to be careful, or else he's going to take it back for 6. Hats off to Stavo on another good cycle and cementing himself in the upper echelon of the SML.
At number 8 is Stavo, who is following up a great cycle last year with another strong showing, over 100 regular season wins and 6 playoff wins. Stavo is your number 8 player in the SML.
Asking me to describe AJ in 30 to 45 seconds is a monumental task, but I'll start with the 3 main descriptors: tall, dark, and handsome. When he wasn't helping old ladies cross the street or changing tires on the side of the road, he managed to have a wonderful Madden 26 cycle. It started with the drafting of halfback Roman Sally, who boosted the development and sped up the success of that Giants football team. When Sally started to regress, he turned to QB Emmett Hampton, who threw for 30 touchdowns and fewer than 20 interceptions in 5 of his 6 seasons as the starter. AJ was never really the master of anything, but he was very good at everything, and he always had a plan B and a way to beat you, whether that was underneath or over the top. He never really could get over the hump in the NFC playoffs, but he established himself as a very serious contender at Madden 26, and I look forward to him carrying that momentum into Madden 27.
And coming in at number 7 is Mr. Perfect AJ with 97 regular season wins, 5 playoff wins, and a very bright SML future.
Raider Fan was a member who made strides every cycle he's been in the SML. He's gone from an afterthought 2 cycles ago to a team that was a consistent playoff team, made a Super Bowl, and finished the cycle with an AFC Championship game appearance. Raider Fan's keys to success have been an explosive run game that sets up the play-action pass to Thornton over the top and his shutdown defense. Raider Fan consistently uses his patented cover 4 defense to give some of the top players fits in the postseason, as evidenced by his 2 deep runs with wins over Dan and QP both times. While it didn't play into these rankings, Raider fan is also one of the best in the league in the booth, and if he keeps improving, we may be limited on how many times a season we get to see that side of him.
And coming in at number 6 is Raider fan with 99 regular season wins, 6 playoff wins, and a Super Bowl appearance. It sure feels like next Madden, Raider fan will explode onto the scene.
My good friend Soda, a top 10 user in this SML after just his first full cycle. He is a draft and offseason mastermind, putting in countless hours in the offseason to build one of the league's best rosters. When it comes to draft knowledge, Soda is one of the best. He is also very smart with trades and free agent signings. When you think of Soda, you think of Trey Benson, who he ran with for over 1,500 yards and 220 touchdowns on the cycle. To go along with his offense, he has a reputation as one of the best ball hawking and run stuffing users in the league. Early in the cycle, he even made the playoffs with QBs like Trey Lance and Jacoby Brissett leading the charge. Once he locked in with his QB of the cycle, he finished the cycle with over 100 regular season wins and 8 playoff wins, the biggest one being over the cycle's best team, the Lions, cementing himself as one of the top 10 users in the cycle. If this cycle was any indication, there are plenty more great things to come from Soda.
At number 5 is Soda, another cycle with a Super Bowl appearance, over 100 regular season wins, a winning record in the playoff. Soda solidifies his legitimacy in the SML.
King Pick 6, better known as KP. Congratulations, brother, on being one of the top 10 players of the cycle for the SML. One of the very few to get himself the ever elusive Simbardi, something that's a little bit harder to achieve this past cycle considering one man took most of them, but KP got the better of that guy in his Super Bowl appearance. Again, top 10 offense all cycle, a top 13 defense all cycle, a man who went through 7 quarterbacks and still was able to consistently perform at his best against some of the top talents in the league. Not really known to run the ball a ton, but will sprinkle that in there. In my opinion, one of the toughest defenses that I've played, and one of the toughest offenses that I've went against. I play a ton of zone defense, and he thrives against that zone, man. You play some zone defense against KP, and he's going to pick you apart slowly and methodically. So again, congratulations, KP, on being one of the top 10 players of the cycle.
And at number 4 is KP, 88 regular season wins, 6 playoff wins, and the elusive Simbardi victory, stopping 20-0. KP had a top 5 cycle in the SML this year.
I've been playing in Madden leagues with Dan for the better part of a decade now. Dan is one of the most cerebral players in the game. He will study your tendencies and have you frustrated every time you play him. Unless you can get him to break ratio, then you have him right where you want him. Dan knows more about Madden and how it works than most people, and it shows with his continued success cycle after cycle. That's why Dan is in your top 10.
And coming in at number 3 is the great Dan He. Over 120 regular season wins, 11 total playoff wins, 2 Super Bowl appearances, and although he didn't win a Simbardi this cycle, this was easily one of the most dynamic cycles Dan has had in his SML career. Dan will be hungry for more next cycle, but he's proved that he can still win big games as he progresses in his SML career.
What's up, SML? This is Torque here. It's my honor and privilege to introduce the top 10 player of the cycle. This man has amassed 111 regular season wins, 14 playoff victories, and 2 Simbardi trophies. Without further ado, let's give it up for the Mad Bomber TV top 10 player of the SML cycle.
Coming in at number 2 is the Mad Bomber. 111 regular season wins, a 14-6 playoff record with 2 Super Bowl wins, and he made 2 more. This is by far the Mad Bomber's most impressive cycle in his SML career. This is the first time in his SML career that he has won 2 Simbardis in a cycle. The Mad Bomber proved now that he is a top 5 player, not only in this cycle, but in SML history with such a strong, dynamic cycle. The Mad Bomber with his Cleveland Browns is the second best player in the SML in Madden 26.
Primetime 000 is unequivocally the best player in the SML, and it's not even close. 6 Simbardis, a record for any cycle. 8 Super Bowl appearances, something no player in SML history has ever accomplished. Prime didn't just win, he won in every way imaginable. He dominated with a stacked roster. He overcame an injury and leaned on Antonio Gibson to win a Super Bowl. And against Bomber, he delivered the now iconic camera kick, a moment that will forever be remembered as the greatest kick of all time. Some players win with meta plays, some win with stick skills. Prime wins with his mind, the master of the clock. All cycle long, he manipulated his opponents, controlled the tempo, and forced them to play the game on his terms, in a level of dominance the SML may never see again. Primetime 000 isn't just the best player of this cycle, he's the undisputed best player in the SML, and perhaps the greatest simulation Madden player to ever pick up a controller.
Every cycle has a measuring stick. This cycle, it was Primetime 000. Every contender understood that sooner or later, the path to a championship ran through him. Games against Prime weren't just another matchup. They became a test for every competitor. Beating him meant more than adding another win to the standings. It meant proving you could overcome the standard that everyone else was chasing. More often than not, that challenge proved too difficult to overcome and the standard of greatness held firm. That's what separates this from just impressive accomplishments. 6 Lombardis, 8 Super Bowl appearances, and countless signature moments didn't just create a historic run, they established the benchmark for the rest of the league. The numbers made the case, the cycle reinforced it, and when the SML cast its votes, the results reflected what the cycle had already shown. Congratulations, Primetime 000, on perhaps the greatest Madden cycle of all time.
It's up, and the kick is... Good! It goes through the uprights, and Prime has won the Super Bowl!